Hi friends, I am back and this time we are going to climb a ghat. You are going to be there with me to witness what it all takes to climb the ghat. I have attempted to climb Lonavala Ghat, Karnala Ghat I have done. Then there is Karle Khind Ghat near Alibag. Then there is another one at Pain. Okay, that is Kharpada, and these are not so very steep, but yes, the continuous climb is what takes you. You have to keep pedaling, you have to keep pedaling and keep pedaling. You can't stop, because the minute you stop, your cycle stops and then there's no way. You just have to be there. You need a very good cycle. First thing, I had a cycle without gears, then I have went on to cycle with gears, but it was a heavy cycle, a simple cycle, and now I have one which is better, but it is still a hybrid. So if you have a road bike, it becomes very easy, the cycle is very light, but remember the tires are very thin. So with thin tires, climbing may be easier, but then the road has to be really good. You can't slip on that road because the tires don't have a very good hold of the road. Other thing is, you have to learn the art of changing your gears. So when you are right down, you anticipate that the ghat is going to start, you must be in your low gear. So low gear meaning what? You have two set of gears, one on your left hand and one on your right hand. The one under left hand is usually the one which is in the front, and the one on your right hand is one on the back. So as you start climbing the ghat, I would say you come down from the top gear to at least the middle gear. There would be set of gears on your left hand, either 1, 2 or 3. Whichever it is, you would be comfortable coming down onto the lower gear and control the speed with the right hand gear. So I would go on, in my case I have 3 gears on my left hand and I have 9 gears on my right hand. Okay, this cycle is Scott, and that is Scott 40. Now what I do is I come on from the third gear, if I am on that, to the second gear, and on the second gear I may be driving or I may be riding my bicycle at about, let us say, 10 or 20, whatever, that may be in the third gear. So I am on my 7th on my right hand side and 3rd there on my left hand. Then I would come down to second gear and then I would make it 7, 8 or 9 if the road is straight. As the road starts inclining upwards, I would go down from 8 to 7 to 6 to 5. Keep pedaling, feel the tension in your legs. No need to watch ahead, just take what I do. I just take what it feels to my legs. If my legs are feeling heavy, if I'm, let us say, feeling the chain to be too tight, I would loosen it up by taking a gear down. So let us say if I'm on 5, I would go to 4. From 4, I would go to 3. The minute I'm on 3 and on the second gear, I realize that maybe this is too much and I must go on to the first gear. Remember, you have to put on the gears when you are low down, not when you are climbing, because the gears don't shift so easily, especially the ones on your left hand side. Okay, left hand. So the front gears you have to change when it's easier to do so, when there's no much tension on the chain, because the tension on the chain doesn't let the gears to go down so very easily. Obviously, I had seen this problem, and that is because my gear wire was loose, so I had to get it done, and after it was done I found that it is now doing well. So what I do now, I just change the gears. I go down, I go from the second gear, I come on to the first gear, and from the first gear I would go on my right hand side from the 4th gear to the second gear, 3rd gear to the second gear, and down to the first gear if required. By and large, a slope which is not too very inclined, and slope that is not continuously inclining but has a slope that is straightening out in between. So at Khargar Hills also you can find that yes, at the top you do have to go to 1 by 1, but by and large 1 by 2, 1 by 3, 1 by 4 would still be good enough, or even 2 by 3, 2 by 2 would also be good enough. So it all depends on how are you going to do, how you are going to manage, how you are going to feel, and what is it that will work. This comes with experience, this comes with a lot of riding. So it's not going to be one day thing. You have to keep doing it, you have to keep challenging yourself and try to go to the next step. As you do that, you realize that what you really need are two things. You need muscle strength, okay, muscles in your vastus and your soleus, and the continuous flexion and extension at your knees. So your pelvis is fixed, and all you are doing is you're moving your leg muscles, okay, the hamstrings, okay, the vastus, lateralis, medialis, the sartorius, all these muscles, okay, forget the names, but you have to understand that it is your thigh muscles and your leg muscles that are going to work. Apart from that, you need something more. You need your heart to be good, because it's the heart that's going to take the brunt. It is going to be pumping the blood. In fact, it's a coordination between your muscles and your breathing and your pumping of the heart. The breathing, yes, breathing can go on because you are not as tired as when you're running. With running, you need more of oxygen, you need more of respiratory muscles also. But while you're cycling, you do need oxygen, you need to breathe hard, but that would not be so much, and what would be more is the pumping of your heart. So your heart rate would go up, and I have seen many times that my heart rate